decision regarding Max. Was it a sudden decision, or has he been in thinking about it for a while? What clues do you find throughout the novel to support your decision?
To start off, I'm just gonna say right when he's got a lot to go through, and I think like throughout the whole book, like it emphasizes that. Like he's always constantly, like at the start of the book, he's dealing with all the people saying, "Oh, is Max doing this, this?" And then he's like, "Yeah, you would think I didn't know this." And then I think the hospital was like the last straw. Like he's like, "Yeah, like I can't handle this." And I don't think it was like a sudden decision. It just took a long time for him to finally like say, "You know what, I just can't." Because at chapter 21, on page 179, when the nurse didn't let him in, and then he says like, "Oh, why can't I go in, but she can?" Like, because when the mother goes in. So I mean, that really shows like he's been thinking about that for a long time.
I agree with Zach. I believe that it's just been building throughout the book, because on page 197, Sam says that he's been thinking about it for a while, and then he made his choice. So I think the final factor was like when it was on page 174, when he finally cut his hand on the wine glass, that Sam realized that he needs a little more help to take care of Max.
I'll go after you.
Okay, thank you. So I agree that I think it was just building up, because on page 193, he's like saying, like telling Claire that he's like been thinking about it for a long time. But I think like the turning point was on page 172, like playing basketball with Andy, because like when he was laying on the ground and like Andy was like, "Dude, you're kind of freaking me out." And then like when he was talking to Claire, he said it had more to do playing with Andy than about like last night's event of him cutting his hand.
I also had that on page 172, and I thought the moment when he was laying down on the ground and said, "I freaked myself out," was his turning point. I think he was just like realizing that he wanted his old life back, and that all this, I think he said that before, something about, so I feel like that was kind of the common clue, I guess. But otherwise for me, I really thought he was gonna keep him up until that point. Like he brought him to a party, and like I'm pretty sure that told him like at the hospital like, "I love you" and stuff. And then
I agree with Paige. I think that it was definitely like page 74 and 72 when he was hanging out with his friends, and he was like realizing what he was missing his old life, and then that whole thing happened with Max, and I think he was just like, "I can't do this anymore, like I'm not like fit for this, like Max could have so much better." I think, but I also do think he was like thinking about it throughout the book, just because like, for example, on page 79, when he took the ACT, I think that part of the reason he took the ACT is because he was like thinking about other options. Because I don't really think he would have like kept the child and gone to school. I think that's when he was probably starting to think that he maybe wanted to do something else, and that he wanted to keep like school option just in case he did do that.
Yeah, I kind of agree with like a mix of everything that's going on right now, or what everyone said. I think that the party was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. That last moment where he decided, "This is it. I can't do it anymore." But like it says on page 173, there was blood all over, streaks on the floor and streaks on Max. I think that the whole party overall, like what we've said with him wanting to go back to his old life, him seeing that maybe it's better that Max has a parent who's not so busy, who doesn't have all this stuff, like he says on page 114, he has to go do some laundry, and then he's gonna have a tough time getting my homework done. I have a ton and a half of homework to do. It just shows that he has so much stuff going on in his life. He thinks that maybe Max would be better suited with another family who isn't so busy right now.
Yeah, I agree with that, because like even on page like 195 and 196, when he's talking to Claire, like he says like, "Don't you think it would be better for him, or don't you think it's better for the kid to have a better father?" And then he talks about later like he shouldn't just be something that somebody has to deal with. So like he doesn't want Max to just be something that he has to figure out and deal with. He wants Max to be loved and cared for. So he wants like a father figure, and like he even talks like about a mother figure later too. Like he wants that like ideal nuclear family to like for Max to grow up in and thrive in.
Yeah, I agree with what Robin said about how the whole college thing might have also pushed him a little bit farther to consider giving him up for adoption, because when he was taking the ACT on page 79, he kind of thought about how Claire had mentioned that she thought college would be good for her and Emily, so he was considering that as an option. But then with the conversation that he had with his dad, he might have realized that it wouldn't be as easy as you would think to have a kid and go to college. But then I also think that it was a gradual decision, because he kind of thinks about how things would be easier if he didn't have Max. On page 89, he almost says to one of his teachers that things would be a lot easier if he didn't have Max, but then he stops himself and says a lot of things to do instead.
Do you guys think Sam would have given up Max for adoption if Brittany was still there to help maybe take care of him?
I think that he might have kept Max, but I feel like Brittany wouldn't have really been want to help anyways, considering I don't know, I get the vibe that Brittany just wouldn't be that helpful as she would seem to be. I feel like Sam would still be doing a lot of her work though.
I absolutely agree with what Cass was saying. Brittany didn't give off the best attitude. She seemed kind of selfish to me in the book, so I don't really think it'd help much if she was there. I still think Max would go be put up for adoption. Overall, it's the best thing to do at that point.
But also, do you think if Brittany was still there and then Max had both parents, do you think Mitch would be more supportive of it?
No, I don't think it had anything to do with that at all. I just really think he felt his son messed up and he didn't want to deal with it. I don't really think if Brittany was there it would make any difference.
Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like the way they already acted in the book, nothing would really change if there was another person in the picture. And I feel like he would still be selfish towards the thing, and until something big happened or something like that, in the book. And I don't think he would have changed if someone was there.
I feel like Max would still get put up for adoption, because if Brittany stayed, I feel like she would still want to put him up for adoption, even though both parents were there.
Yeah, I disagree. I think if Brittany was there, Sam would be more focused on wanting to keep the family or reuniting the family at some time. So, yeah.
Also, with another parent with you, you don't have to work 24/7. You have somebody else who can help. It might be easier to reach goals.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, because I feel like kind of the main reason throughout the book is that Sam is so busy that he doesn't have time, and he doesn't have the energy to keep putting up with Max or keep taking care of him the right way. And so I feel like even if Brittany was there, even if she did have a bad attitude and she didn't care that much, the fact that she is there and just giving a break for Sam for all this work that he's having to do could force him into the situation of having or wanting to keep Max more.
When you guys were talking earlier about Brittany, if Brittany was there, Sam did propose to her, so if they were married, that would change a lot of things. But
what would it change?
they would be married, so it established maybe that they'd be living on their own, or if not, one of them would be living with each other.
But how can they afford that? Wouldn't it just add a title to their relationship that they might have not even wanted?
Yeah, true.
I'm just.
Oh yeah, no, I'm just saying, just what they were saying earlier. If Brittany was around, I'm saying, well, Sam did propose, so would they be married, or would it be custodial chains, saying, hey, you have Max here, and then they're I don't know. But when this first went down with Brittany, it felt like Sam was the bad guy. Just I don't know, the parents thought of him as the bad guy because they're hey, you have to pay for this. Make sure you pay for this. They're making him feel like he wasn't part of what is part of the baby's life. They're just saying, okay, we're doing this, and he just went along with it because this was all new to him. He didn't know what to do. If that makes any sense.